Alright, what's up everybody? Let's talk about what happened in the previous month. We're now in May, and in the beginning of the last month I went over some of the things with the Dow and the Emini Russell, the Emini S&P and the Dow. And so I'm just going to go over what happened from that point on. And I do this every month. At the beginning of the month I try to do something, or at the end of the month I'll try to do something about what happened in the previous month, as well as what's going to happen in the next month, anticipating as to see what we're looking at. We were looking at on the ES, we were looking at some little bit of upward movement and then a fall back down. And so that movement did happen, and it crossed our let's take a look here right on our screen. Let's see, this was the previous high right around here, and the low was right around here. Okay, and so in the previous month we were right around here. Okay, and I mentioned that we were going to go up to the 88.6, and if it did in the next few days hit this, and there's a chance that it might hit this and then go down, or if it crosses it and breaks it, there's look upward to the next 100%, and that's exactly what happened right here, right? It led up all the way to the 100% retracement, right, on the fibs. And see what happened in the past few days? It just hovered right around that area and it pulled back. Now we're right around the close of the mid band on the daily Bollinger Bands, and our proprietary RAM indicator shows that it's right around here. Now what's going to happen in the next few weekdays, it all depends on where we go from here in regards to all of these, right? So now that we hit the 100%, there's going to be some retracements. There's going to be some profit taking and whatnot, right? So we have to watch out and see what this entails, right? Whether it's going to touch the lower band or touch our proprietary RAM indicator and then bounce back up, or if it does cross below it, then there's some more leg downwards right around in this area. Okay, and if that happens, you'll see that right in this area. It'll move forward. Maybe it might go back to the 61.8, touch it, and then continue on its way back up. Otherwise, it may just hover around until probably the next month. As you can see over here on the Woodies, we're seeing some move downwards below the zero line, right? So we have to be watchful and see what's going on. We're getting some red over here, and see how this plays out for the next few days. And if we got to keep an eye on this to see if it stays blue. And if that's the case, then this may be just coming up here and then going back up. But then next few days, if this continues and we see a yellow bar below, then we're looking at a more leg downwards, right? You can see that the RSI touch the top portion of this. You see this right here? Look at this cross right here on the MACD. So there's some indication here. Again, this is our prediction that we may go further down. Okay, so this is what's happening on the ES. Let me also bring out, okay, so let me bring out the other chart that we follow on the other strategies. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, so on the ES, right, this is the 50-day and this is the 200-day. Remember what I always say, when you're above, if you follow my strategy on the course, you'll notice that whenever, as long as it's above both of these ropes, I call them the ropes, nothing but 50-day and the 200-day, as long as it's above, when this crosses above, you go long. Try to go long up here. Right, when it crosses, you don't trade anything inside. When it crosses below, you try to look for a short on its way down. There were some shorts over here back in December. No trades right here. There were some trades right here. No stop out. If you had a really tight stop out, you would have been stopped out. Long right over here, and then this road all the way up. Unless you moved your stops up, then you would have gotten stopped out somewhere over here as well. All right, so now if you look over here, we're still way above these two moving averages on the ES. So there's room for it to come back right around here if it stays put and keep this. You know, we have our RAM indicator also around this area, so if it holds it down, there's a chance that it may run up, and then there's also that chance that it may continue downwards, right? So you have to be mindful as it comes down and touches this this moving average. So keep that in mind for ES and what's to come for this month. We continue to be above the ropes. As long as it stays above the ropes, we're going to continue to go higher and higher, right? So just keep that in mind. Just be mindful of that and make sure you have that on charts. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Discord. Let's take a look at the Dow. See what's going on with the Dow. Actually, let me just put the Dow right here. Okay, so Dow on our proprietary RAM indicator, it's actually touching the lower Bollinger Band. It came down. Let's take a look at the fibs. We had the high right around here, the low right around here. I know in the previous month we mentioned that there's some room that for it to go up and touch this, and it did. And I remember I mentioned that it may go down, and it actually did go down after touching it. And then it crossed again and went up. Right, it crossed that 88, but it never reached the 100 on this one. The 100% retracement, it never did that. And then it's crossing back again at the 88.6. And now this is where the inflection point is. Whether, look, we're below the mid band, right, on the Bollinger Bands. We're right around the 88.6. And we're also touching the lower band as well as my proprietary RAM indicator. So now what we have to look at is, does it continue to stay below the mid band? Does it, does the 88.6 become a resistance and come down? And if that's the case, will our RAM indicator also become a resistance point after it crosses below? And if that's the case, then we're looking for a more downward push right here. And looking at right here, the Woodies, we've already moved down below the zero line. We started seeing some red here, started seeing some yellow, right? So there's some there's some room for it to go down further. Our RSI is pointing downwards, right? We're still on the upward trend right here. If it now holds up and makes a higher low, there's a chance they may run up. But then if this continues downwards and prints a lower low, then there's room for it to go down. We've noticed a cross right here on the MACD. Right, when there's a cross, we're looking at a leg down. As long as it stays above, we have some room to maybe possibly go back upwards. But if it crosses below and this expands, and the cross happened right here and it expands and goes below, we're looking at more downward pressure on the YM, the Dow E-mini. All right, the Dow Mini. Let me look at the ropes on this one. Give me a second. Okay, so this is the same chart, but okay, YM. All right, let me remove this. All right, so on the ropes, this is 50-day and the 200-day. All right, we're above. We're continuing to be above both of the bands, and as you can see, there's some times that have been support, and then it just takes it back up. So will that be the case here? We'll find out, right, in the next few days, whether this becomes a support or not. And if that's the case, if that becomes support, and you should keep this as a separate chart on your screen somewhere, just to keep an eye on it on the daily charts, to see if this holds it in. And if it does, we may ride back up, and this may be just profit taking leg down, and then that ride may be just a leg up, right, for the next leg up. So you just gotta have to watch and see how that plays out. And if it does cross below this, remember, I don't trade in between the ropes, and if it does get way below over here, then we may be looking at shorts. But as long as it's above here, we look for longs, as long as there's some good entry for getting in longs. Alright, so if you have any questions on this, I hope you like my monthly reviews on the Dow and the E-mini. If you have anything else that you want me to look at, please feel free to reach out to me, post a comment, like this video, share it. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Discord. That's one of my first place for me to answer any questions that you may have. And remember to sign up for my course. All right, it's well worth the investment. Thanks, PriceIsKing.com.